There's been an explosion of online gambling during the pandemic. Some people say it's just because of boredom, but could it be more complex than that? And more importantly, is it even your fault if you are a person that's been caught in a cycle of gambling? At the end of this video, stay tuned. I will give you some solutions and some suggestions if you or someone you love is affected by gambling. But before that, let's point out some of these problems and have a bit of a laugh about it.
During this pandemic, many of us now spend our days behind a computer screen.
They're home, they're alone.
They're at home, they're alone, they're trapping burglars in a variety of novel ways.
The National Council on Problem Gambling estimates about 6 million Americans have a gambling addiction, and it can be as gripping as an addiction to drugs or even alcohol.
Gripping is not a pejorative enough term. Like gripping, good film is gripping, isn't it? It's a terrible, terrible addiction. The thing is with gambling, it's a serious problem. It does, as this news person said, it's increased in America. It's increased in the UK and all. 9.2% of people that do online gambling are addicted to it. Plus, problem gamblers are at greater risk of suicide than people with conventional forms of addiction. I've met people with gambling addiction, and what I've learned from it is that it's sort of like a kind of hypnosis, like all addictions. Perhaps it's more comparable to anorexia or bulimia in that it's like, of course, food is a substance, but it's not necessarily an addictive substance. It's a behavioural addiction, and once people are in its thralls, it's not about sort of winning and losing, but just about this creating this inner vacillation, this sort of state of self-hypnosis that people will pursue into the jaws of financial ruin and, as has been explained, mental health breakdown.
Mobile matters, especially in a pandemic. Last year, coronavirus closed down casinos nationwide and tax revenue dwindled. But where mobile gaming was legal, the money kept coming in.
So really, again, this is the same old problem. It's a business. Gambling is a business. So the fact that it causes addiction and financial ruin in ordinary people is not significant. It's not like I would suggest banning gambling or anything like that. I'm not like a mad Puritan type of guy, but these are things that I think are interesting. The gambling industry has a history of donating money to political parties. Sheldon Adelson donated 100 million to Donald Trump, and casino magnate Neil Bloom hosted fundraisers for Joe Biden. It's the same over here in our country, England. In 2017, it was revealed that sports and betting companies are the most regular donors to MPs. MPs who defended betting machines in a Commons debate had received thousands of pounds in gifts from bookmakers. How can there ever be political, legislative change when the funding comes from the people who benefit from things staying the same?
The key to profits and tax revenue is making bets easy whenever, wherever.
One thing these companies could do is donate some of this enormous revenue to solving the problems that their product is creating. Gambling addiction. In 2005, UK bookmakers and online betting companies agreed to give, wait for it, 0.1% of their annual 14 billion revenue to charities that fund addiction treatment and research. The industry has increasingly failed to meet its commitments. It is hard to give 0.1%. Data released by Gamble Aware show that some firms ensured their presence on a list of donors by giving as little as £1 or £5. Well, a whole pound, we're going to give you that whole quid. I suppose this is the kind of remorseless, relentless rapaciousness of profit-driven business. Gambling, I suppose, probably could be fun. You know, like in them adverts where it goes, when the fun stops, stop. Do you know what you're dealing with addiction? When the fun stops, stop. Anyone that could respond to that, in an addict, like, hey, is this fun? No, it ain't fun. I've just had to nick my kid's laptop and flog it. Right, well, you should stop. No, yeah, you're right, actually, I shouldn't have done that. If you're going to respond to common sense advice, you're not in the grips of the delirium induced by this condition. So what are offered are phatic and gestural solutions rather than practical solutions designed to make a difference, because the fact is that this industry is dependent on people that are addicted to the product in order to survive. And the last thing they want to do is draw attention to the fact that it's an irresponsible industry that requires the complicity of irresponsible governments in order to continue to thrive.
When it comes to sports betting, business is booming.
The estimates are mobile and sports betting could be $20 billion, maybe as much as $50 billion industry in the near future.
Sports betting's legit over here in England. In America, it's banned in some states because it's sort of pretty intoxicating. But if you're like me, someone who watches, e.g. football, you're bombarded with invitations to gamble the whole time. I've never had an issue with gambling, and it's one of the few things I've not had problems with addiction-wise so far yet. But like, you could see how you bloody would. I mean, it's just the players are wearing it on their shirts, the adverts are on it, with starring people that you admire and love. You know, it's just like the invitation to do it is, I mean, I suppose, again, it's what's revealed is what's interesting. What's revealed is that everything is an opportunity for profit.
Ironically, coronavirus may have boosted sports gambling in states that have legalized online play. Research today from PaySafe shows 68% of gamblers say COVID made them more comfortable with mobile play.
It's a weird way to look at it, more comfortable. Once leaving the house has become a gamble, might as well gamble while I'm in it.
This is a roulette wheel. It spins fast.
Let's have a look at some of these enticing opportunities to gamble. Again, if you're a person without an addiction issue, I don't know, who cares? But some people can't do this, and they are the people that are vulnerable. So the 2 points that I'd like to raise is mostly the advertising should be restricted, and secondly, that the industry should pay for the problems that it generates.
The ball spins faster. Red, black, red, black, red, black.
It's got that red, black, designed to be literally hypnotic. That will literally hypnotise you. Then underneath, please gamble responsibly, gambleaware.co.uk, in the middle of an intoxicating and hypnotic image.
Your heart beats fast. Then things start slowing down. But your heart beats faster.
It's like neuro-linguistic programming.
So fast, it almost stops.
Showtime. TDs, back with K's, RBIs, and the TKOs pay B-I-G.
I like him. He's a brilliant actor. Nothing against Jamie Foxx. But let's have a look at where we're going with this gambling ad.
The overs, the unders, the underdogs, and the upsets. Ooh, yeah, that hits different.
Well, he's literally walking on water surrounded by giants in flumes of apparent ejaculate in an intoxicating and bewilderingly seductive image. Again, when you're dealing with something on an industrial scale such as this, on the point of saturation we're at, it's not like a condemnation of individuals or even individual companies. It's a kind of mindset that becomes problematic when there is this much appetite unleashed, an appetite to profit, an appetite that can't be controlled by people that suffer from gambling addiction. This is when you get into, I think, sort of a dodgy territory.
You know what to do.
So there's them intense sexy adverts. Then there's also ones that are kind of, hey, we're your mate.
Lads, and everybody. Chris Acapulco. All right!
Sort of ironic, lad culture, references to sort of pastiche, parodic, retrograde, nostalgic figures.
Get a bigger payout on your football accumulator by hitting the boost button to boost your ACCA odds.
In an attempt to make it accessible and ordinary and humorous, but I find sort of a bit patronising.
A bookie gives you odds and you bet on them or not, which is fine if you like that sort of thing.
Right, but hold on, what's Clive Owen, who's also a wicked actor? Let's see what Clive Owen's got to say. Now he can use peanuts to make sense of the world.
You'll be betting against fellow bettors, so you could get better odds. And it also means you can lay a bet.
He's gambling on the nature of reality itself, sat in a square in Paris, I'm guessing, with a crow. What the hell are you telling me?
And that bet doesn't have to be at the odds on offer. You can set your own odds, and if someone likes them, the bet is on.
This better lead somewhere, all these peanuts being lined up on this bench. It's freaking me out now. I'd like one of them people that's walking past going, are you alright, mate? I've just been watching you lining up them peanuts and talking to that crow and everything. I was just a bit concerned. No, I'm just flogging a bit of gambling.
Here at Ladbrokes, we want you to stay in control of how you bet and play.
Oh, good. Well, don't design a product then that specifically targets addictive traits in vulnerable people. Is that what you've done?
Simply decide how much you'd like to spend.
Again, if you're capable of doing this, you are not an addict.
Set reminders that help you manage how long you play for.
Oh, the old reminder. Shut your face!
And take a break whenever you want to.
You're in the grips of addiction. I think I might take a break from this crippling addiction.
So however you like to play, stay in control and always gamble responsibly.
It's presented as a sort of a rational, calm medical procedure, but that's not how addiction operates. That's something I can talk about from personal experience. Here's some actual advice. If you are suffering from gambling addiction, get in touch with Gamblers Anonymous or a comparable 12-step support group. Find somebody else who has had an addiction problem like you that is now living a life free from the addiction, and next time you want to gamble, call them. Remove all apps and devices from your phone. Do not put yourself in situations where you're alone with your phone. For example, stop taking your phone to bed at night. Do not sit alone. Join groups, support groups, even if they're online, where you talk honestly about the feelings you get when you're gambling, what it brings up in you. Talk about the emotional deficiencies and defects you have inside yourself that you're trying to make up for. What job is the addiction doing in your life? It's providing me excitement, detachment, escape, freedom. Well, you've got to find those things elsewhere in your life. You can't just remove the addiction and replace it with a sterile Ladbrokes ad telling you to take a break. You're going to need to find what this craving, this yearning within you is looking for, which you'll probably find is something quite profound and emotional, and dare I say it, spiritual. You won't be able to do that on your own. You won't be able to do it without significant change. However, help is available, change is possible, and there are groups that are genuinely interested in helping those of us that have addiction issues. Gambling organisations that have that mentality are all available and linked to at the bottom of this video. If you know somebody that's affected by gambling, well, I don't know if you can send them the old video, because they'll probably see the adverts that we were just satirically critiquing and go, yeah, bloody hell, actually, let's have a go. I might win some of Clive Owen's peanuts. You know, but you might consider showing them this and letting them know that they're not alone, that there is a solution, that change is possible. These are fundamental principles of recovery in every single area of your life. If you like this video, like it. If you've got any comments, let us know. We do read them. Don't turn on notifications, especially not if you've got gambling addiction issues. Just shut that off altogether. In fact, stop watching it. Go outside, have a walk, fly a kite, do something productive, take a deep breath, meditate. And if you want to join my mailing list, my community, my arc, my cabal, my elites, my cult, then visit this link and sign up. You get regular free content, and I tell you what the hell it is I'm up to. And please look at my book Revelation, where I go deeply into the kind of stuff that I talk to in these videos, primarily from a spiritual perspective. Click on the link for appropriate to your area. But most importantly of all, keep watching, stay connected, stay free. Thank you.